I don't know. Well, if you can hear me, thank you for being here. I definitely appreciate you for being anybody who decides to log in today or not. I do typically record these to see so that they're able to be replayed. So anyway, we're here today having tea time. I'll probably be more regular again. I know it's been a really long time since I've been more regular, but we'll work on it. I'm working on it. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to talk about just New Year's resolutions. I hear a lot of, well, everyone, no one cannot hear about New Year's resolution stuff once the new year is approaching and then as it arrives. So I hear life, I hear everything with the ears of a griever. And when I think about grieving, I think about my own life and the numerous times that I've been a griever. Remember, grieving or grief is just our emotional reaction. It's our emotional response when we go through change. And that change can be any kind, and it produces an emotional reaction inside of us. And that emotional reaction is called grief. So everything can technically, anything can be a grief experience when you think about what the definition of grief is. That said, New Year's doesn't really, it's not going to change that for us, is it? I mean, grief is cumulative, it's cumulatively negative. Hi, hi, hi. And it doesn't go away. Grief is just here. Monica, we're talking about New Year's resolutions and with grief. And I'm just thinking for me, if you ever want to hop on, by the way, you absolutely can. We can do it together. But I hear everything through the ears of a griever, and being a griever myself, having so much of my own grief that I've experienced and walked through with the method of the grief recovery method. I recover regularly as well. So I don't let it build up anymore now that I know what to do. But the point is, I've been a griever. I've been a griever at the end of the year, through all of the holidays with my heart shattered and feeling like it's in a million pieces and weighing 9 million pounds. And then just because the day changes, the grief doesn't suddenly go away. It's not suddenly lifted. But that's kind of the message of the world, is that we're supposed to just get on it. Let's get better. It's the new year. Get your plans going for what you're going to be doing differently and better and all the things. And grievers sometimes really have trouble even getting out of bed. So there's the emotional impact that we're having that can be very physical, mental, emotional. I mean, really tired, unfocused, having a hard time just building up energy to do things. So grief can affect our physical body, leaving us feeling heavy and having a hard time doing things or getting things done. But it can affect our mind, our mental, our emotional. It's just so heavy. Everything feels heavy or foggy or just not happy and positive like a lot of the New Year's talk can be. So, and actually I just was with a student yesterday who was talking about exactly this. And that's why I thought, I need to go on. I see a lot of these posts out there and I just say, oh, I'm going to show them. I think that in my head, I get a little bit of an attitude. I get protective of grievers because, oh, hey, Joe, talking about, New Year's resolution. So if you have anything you want to say, or if you want to join in and let me know. But just these New Year's resolution types posts and everything, grievers don't feel like, well, it's, from 11:59, I'm feeling one way, and now at 12 midnight, I'm supposed to feel different. It's the new year, everything's new. Actually, we're gonna wake up hurting the next day. We're gonna wake up feeling probably quite the same. Maybe you've got a little bit of hope that you've built up that, okay, it's 2024 and I'm going to feel different and I'm going to feel better. And the sad news is just the year changing, just the calendar flipping a page. It doesn't help us feel better. Grief is cumulative. It's cumulatively negative. It hangs around. It takes root. So here's the difference. Sadness, you can have something come into your life, an event, a memory, a song, something comes into your life. Somebody says something and you don't feel good. It hurts, right? You'll have sadness, you'll have tears. Sadness will keep floating through. We know it's grief when that event happens or that memory comes up, however it does. And instead of moving through after some tears and an emotion and acknowledging it, this one stays. This one takes root, um, and it shows up. It just keeps showing up. When you go to bed at night, it's there. When you wake up, it's there. When you have a quiet moment in the shower or a quiet moment on the toilet, that pit is there, and we can hide it and go through the motions of the I'm going to eat better, I'm going to exercise more, I'm going to, make all the dream boards and all the vision boards and all the things, but the heartache is still there. We still have to learn how to deal with the pain in our heart. And not only that, a lot of times when people go through a death, it's really hard for them, or a loss of any kind. Maybe there's somebody who's got, dementia or Alzheimer's, so they haven't physically lost someone, but mentally, emotionally, that person is completely different. They just happen to look similar. They look the same as someone they've known. Um, jobs, uh, job loss, financial changes, health changes, simply because it was 11:59 one moment and now it's 12 midnight on January 1st, 2024, we're not automatically going to feel better and pick up hope. Hope can be really heavy when we're hurting. And it's one important that you're allowed to not join the club of the resolution people. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it puts too much pressure on people. It's not realistic. And I may be, in the emotional slums in, you know, December 31st at 11:59 all the way through, I don't know, May 3rd. Well, if I decide to stand up on May 3rd and decide I want to do something to feel a little better. My New Year's resolution could start there. It doesn't have to be called a New Year's resolution. We can make a choice for ourselves anytime we're ready. And if there's something that I know for sure, it's that grievers can't be forced. They can't be pushed, and putting pressure on them just because the day changes isn't going to be helpful. Also, I have something right in front of my camera, so I can't see something. So if you need to, calendars don't help us feel better. Amen. That's so true. They don't help us feel better. And if you're coming to the method, if you're grieving the loss of a human through death, or like I said, through something like Alzheimer's, honestly, it could be any type of loss or change event to your life. But it can be really painful with the whole new year hype of changing. Everything's changing. It's the first of the year. But it can be painful for those people who are grieving, feeling as though they're leaving their loved one behind. But wait, but they died in this year, and what does that? I don't want to go forward. I don't want to go without them. I don't want to be moving into new, fun, fancy things because my loved one's over here. I don't understand. This doesn't make sense to me. That's how I hear life, and that's how I see these New Year resolution things. If you're a griever for any reason, it's never too soon to begin your recovery, to enroll in a grief recovery method class. It's evidence-based. It's going to help you when you're ready for it. We can't force you. When you're ready, it's going to help you. And hopefully you'll take your tools and apply them to all sorts of things through your life once you learn how to use them. But the point is, we're not just going to magically feel better because the day changes. We might feel even more isolated, left out, and alone if everyone's talking about how we need to be renewed and different, and we're still feeling sad and not wanting to move forward. And I just hear life through the ears of grievers that you might fake it and pick up that positive and all the things, even happy, joyful. When I started the grief recovery method, was devastated after my father died. He died by suicide. And I had all kinds of grief stuck inside of me. I'd gotten used to living with that, so I didn't pay attention to it until I learned how to find it and what to do with it. But I don't know, I remember feeling helpless and lost and alone, and every day felt terrible. But when I started that class, I remember someone specifically telling me, "What are you in that class for? You're like the happiest person I've ever known." But I just was really good at kind of living two lives, and inside quiet private life of sadness and an externally viewed happy life. That's not real. That's not honest. And I don't like for you to have to be pushed into building some kind of resolution. Maybe you want to start taking actions of recovery. Just suddenly eating perfectly, it's not going to make you feel better with your emotions. It's just like, if my ankle is broken, I can eat like a clean beast, but that's not really going to heal my ankle. It'll make sure that, as my ankle's rebuilding, it's going to rebuild with really good quality, helpful, ingredients at a cellular level, but I'm still going to have to cast it and immobilize it. Sometimes keep it elevated to keep the swelling down. You see what I'm saying? Just simply eating better isn't going to change my emotional self. And that's tricky too. A lot of times people call it mental health. Well, of course, your mental is going to suffer when your emotional is full and heavy. Actually, so oh, Joe, are you here? Do you see? This was the mug I grabbed when I came up. We went to, where'd we go? Golden Girls. We all dressed up. You see that there? It was Rose. Joe was, I can't think at this moment because I wasn't focused on that. But the point is, we went there and we dressed up and it was fun. But what I'm trying to get at is, I actually don't know. I don't remember. What kind of thoughts and wonders and questions are you having out there? About resolutions. How did you feel when the resolution talks started coming and the got to clean up your life, got to get better, got to do all the things? I mean, grief recovery method is available for you when you're ready. It's never too soon to start to do the work of recovery. Just like on my ankle, if it were broken, it's never too soon to start the work of recovery. I mean, it'd be silly for me to walk with a deformed ankle and pretend like it's not a big deal for weeks and months. So, I mean, if my ankle is deformed, it's obviously broken, I'm going to go get help from a specialist right away, right? So it's never too early of a time to start doing recovery or taking recovery actions. But I do get it, especially if you're coming to the method after a death or something, and if you are responsible for all of the after, the funerals and the what outfits are they going to wear, and where are they going to be buried, and are they going to be buried, how are we going to get the finances for this, and all the insurance work and the things. So sometimes just purely because you're inundated with other responsibilities and things, thank you for being here, you may not start right away. It doesn't mean you can't. It's still effective if you do. It's just that the timing might be kind of tough for you to add one more thing on top of a really heavy hurting heart. It's never too soon to start, but it's also never too late. So, I hear it's pretty common to hear, "Hi, thanks for being here." It's never too, or I mean, it's pretty common for me to hear people who, "Well, my son died 20 years ago now," or we divorced 44 years ago, things like this. Well, if it wasn't a big event for you in your life, you could still do recovery today, 20 or 44 years later. It's still beneficial. We don't understand. So if I had this broken ankle and I never got it set properly and whatever, I go through life another 25 years with this crooked ankle, it's only going to impact me in other ways, right? It's just going to continue to get worse. It's only going to get worse. I can deny it and just push through the pain for another 25 years, but eventually something's going to scream so loud that I'm going to have to go through a surgery. And now it's going to be probably more challenging and more intense of a surgery because it's so healed 25 years, but incorrectly. So, but the point is, I'm still going to have to go through the same motions I would have gone through, way back when it happened, essentially. And our emotional wounds are the same way. We're going to still have to do the same motions of recovery. There might be different content, but it's really the same actions and motions. And the thing is, once you learn those actions, they don't expire, so we can use them for anything. But that New Year's resolution talk, it bothers me. It hurts my heart for you grievers, for us grievers, because I'm a griever. I can't tell you how many Christmases and New Year's have really felt like trash for me. Countless, countless. And sometimes even knowing recovery tools, I can't use them in that exact second. So I might just be kind of limping through emotionally with the kind of pieced it on smile. That's not real. That's not fun. That hurts. What are your thoughts? What you got? Did you bring tea? I did. Grief is not nice, and it's heavy, and it's tiresome. And we don't automatically just pick up happiness and joy because someone told us we should, because it's the new year, because it was 11:59 one minute and 12 midnight the next. It's just not how it works. Did you feel pressure with that? Did you feel left out because you weren't the happy one deep on the inside? Happiness is fleeting, but joy is lasting and real. Joy can't be taken from you. And if you can't find, maybe you can find a moment of happiness, which is okay, but some people even struggle carrying that with it when they're grievers. But if you can't find the joy, the deep something that's just there that can't be taken from you, you can't find happiness, then, you know, I'd love to help you. That's what the method is about. Hi there. Thanks for being here. I hope to meet here Thursdays at 3, have tea, proper tea time. My husband's British. He grew up in America, but he's born in England. His family still have accents. Those are all alive. He's got a brother there and a sister-in-law and an aunt and an uncle and cousins and all the things. So we're tea people. And that's something I've learned. So I got some kind of a dark tea today. I don't know. But I hope to do these tea times on Thursdays at 3. For the most part, it just makes sense. So if you have topics and wonders, you can always throw them out to me. If you just need to hear someone say, no, you don't have to subscribe to that. You don't have to pick up that idea and that attitude just because it's common and popular right now. Nope, you don't have to do it. If it's not true for you, it isn't true. And there's no amount of forcing that can be done. If you are a square, you cannot force yourself into that round hole of positivity. Positivity doesn't work. It doesn't. Otherwise, I would just be able to pick up one of those fancy positive journals and I'd feel better, or one of the countless positivity books and I'd feel better. It doesn't work that way. Grief is in there until we do something about it. And it's in there bouncing around like a ping pong ball, affecting different parts of your life, even if you think, well, that's not really a big deal anymore. It's just that you've gotten used to the feeling of that ping pong ball called grief bouncing around in your life. So, yes, regardless of the day or the year, it's always a good idea to get curious with how your heart is feeling. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And that's really what it starts with. It starts with an awareness of what's going on in your inside. That doesn't really feel that good when I'm really honest about it. I might be thinking to myself that I really don't feel that good on the inside. Once you have that awareness inside of yourself, you can keep it quiet and call Monica, who's this beautiful specialist here. You see her there, Monica R. Davis, grief recovery, or myself, or any grief recovery method specialist. When you become aware that there's something hurting you on the inside, you can keep it quiet and call one of us. You could also say it out loud to somebody, and but still call one of us, right? You don't have to shout it out to the world. It might be a quiet call. You might say, hey friend, hey partner, hey sibling, I'm really hurting. I'm gonna get over there and I got to do something about this. I don't know what you're going to say out loud, but it starts with awareness and then acceptance. Once you become aware, and if you're curious about yourself, like Monica said, and you become aware of how you're hurting, then you have to also kind of come to an acceptance that it's there, it's not moving, and I really don't know what to do with it. I've tried a lot of things. I've tried this and this and this, and they told me to go for a run. They told me to do yoga. They told me to do breath work. They told me to, read all the spiritual books. They told me to pray. They told me to read this Bible study. They told me to XYZ. And it's not working. In the secret spaces of your heart, it's still there. So that's where we not only get curious and become aware, but then we also have to accept that we really don't know how to help it feel better. Fortunately for each one of us, hi y'all, thank you for being here. The grief recovery method is evidence-based and it does work. We've got to teach you the tools. So that's depending on the class that you sign up for. It's a 7 to 8 week class. I do all mine as 8 week, but it's a 7 to 8 week class. And I'm going to not only teach you how to use the tools, I'm going to demonstrate them for you. I'm going to show you how to use them and I'm going to help you use them. So we'll end up using them together. And then I'm going to set you up for an additional practice run to make sure you really got it. And in the meanwhile, you're starting to feel better. And this whole resolution stuff, that can be whenever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be January 1st. Now we're at January 4th, I think. It could be whatever. Are you going to call me in July? Great. Let's get started in July. There's no time that's too early or too late to do the actions that are going to help you feel better. And I say that very confidently. They're going to help you feel better. If you follow my lead, let me show you how this works. And do it. You get out what you put in. I can't sugarcoat that for you. You will get out what you put in. You put in kind of a half-ass attitude, you'll get half-ass recovery, but it's still a sip of recovery. It's really what you're up for. Are you up for, I need depth here. I want to go deep and I need to feel better. Then your homework will not necessarily reflect that because it's not graded. You don't turn it in, but it's just evidence when you really go deep and apply this and think about it and stew on it and do your heart work and show up ready to learn the next piece to apply and add. It's baby steps. You got to take all the classes. Start here, add a little bit next time, add a little bit next time, add a little bit next time. I mean, let's be honest. If I told you do these 16 things, nobody's going to do it. Not when their heart's too heavy and their mind is fuzzy and life is heavy and intervening. And life doesn't just create, here you go, here's a nice open space where you can find your recovery. It doesn't work that way. You just have to decide when it's right for you. It may not be because it's January 1st, 2024. It may be May, April, September. I don't know. And when you're ready, I'll see you there. Okay. As long as I get to be alive at that moment, I'm going to see you there. This is the reason I'm alive, is to help you feel better. Isn't it like see one, do one, teach one? That's my military mentality. Well, I saw it and I did it. And now I'm teaching it because you need to know this. It's just helpful, good stuff. How are you feeling about the resolutions? Have you said any? What did it feel like for you when you were seeing all the noise? What kind of wonders? You can put them here. You can put them in the comments. I do usually record these and put them on YouTube and have a link there, which you can find the YouTube link in my bio if you're on Instagram. So otherwise, I'm here for questions, wonders. You can private message me and get on my calendar, which is also in the bio. If you're curious about something I said, I just want to ask a question privately. If you want to know more about recovery, if you want to say, yeah, I effing hate this resolution madness. What is this? Hey, no judgment here. You're allowed to say it. If you haven't said it, I was probably thinking it. So you're not alone. We're just trying to be human together. We're trying to get you the best step up that you could actually have. Great to see you doing what you love. You know what? Thank you. I do love it. Getting into the hearts of people because they allow me to and they trust me to be there with them and tenderly, gently showing them the way to feel better. I believe that is one of the ultimate callings and I get to be a part of it and I'm so thankful for it. I didn't invent it, invented by John W. James. You can go over the grief recovery method and read about the method. You can read about, you could hear John W. James speak. I think he's on my website as well. And you can read about the evidence-based studies and work that are out there on that side of things too. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And I love you and you're important. And it's okay that you may not have wanted to jump on the New Year's horse ride, the resolution ride. I don't, nope. Grievers will do it when they're ready, and they'll stick to it a lot better when they're ready. And you have my support, and I love you. And I will see you all, I think, next Thursday at 3 p.m. tea. Come have tea with me. I love y'all. Bye.